So, Persona 5 is finally out after a long wait, and every aspect about it is amazing. In true Persona style, the music, the color scheme, the menus, every part of the game is painted with its aesthetic. I've never been in awe of a loading screen before. There's so much I could talk about just after playing the first few hours in terms of art style, mechanics, story. There's so much to work with, it's staggering. But I'm going to leave it at a couple things that hit me hard and immediately for now. So, very minor spoilers for the first hour and a half or so. First, the Persona series has always had a bit of a history with rumors. In Persona 2, rumors drove the plot as they began to come true the stronger they were. In fact, they were an actual game mechanic where you could go to a place to have them spread for you and essentially manufacture truth. It's how you got better weapons, armor, accessories, and so on. It's also what leads to Hitler and his power armor knights emerging from the ancient Mayan ruins hidden under the city to try and take over the world with the power of the Lance of Longinus. Yeah, more people need to play Persona 2. Persona 4 also had some plot elements about rumors, but not nearly to the same extent. The plot only happens because of the rumors of the Midnight Channel and whether or not it's real. Most of the party members are essentially hiding their true selves from one rumor or another, and the only one who isn't is Yosuke, and he's the only one who never appears on the Midnight Channel. Persona 5 also has a theme of rumors, but these are entirely different. From the first moment, Joker, his canon name according to the manga is Akira Kurusu, which I looked up when there wasn't a default in the name entry screen, but that doesn't really matter according to the series' history. He steps into the city, and the school that is supposed to be his new home, rumors are already abound about him. He can hear the whispers of people's exaggerated stories about how he'll beat you up just for making eye contact, how he carries a knife around, and so on. Other future party members have similar problems with unjustified rumors, and that leads into the other theme that caught my eye almost immediately after the intense intro: isolation. Walking through the halls of the school in the city filled with literally faceless crowds ignoring you at best, and at worst whispering about how you're a bad person reminded me of Necessary Games' loneliness. It doesn't feel good. And like I said earlier, the entire game is designed around a certain aesthetic. While you're in the real world, your character design is almost intentionally bland. Compare him to the other protagonists and he's noticeably more under-designed. Think of a typical JRPG protagonist. They usually have at least 3 or 4 things that make them completely unique and identifiable from a distance. Examples: Marth from Fire Emblem, headband, blue cape with a red inside, multiple belts, sword with a uniquely shaped crossguard, Flynn from SMT4, ponytail, demon summoning gauntlet, samurai uniform, white scarf, Lloyd from Tales of Symphonia, dual swords with crossed belts, red shirt and boots, white scarf things trailing behind, suspenders, tons of buttons. Now take a look at Persona Man in the real world. School uniform, huge opaque glasses, hair covering his face. All elements that are specifically designed to eliminate any semblance of uniqueness or personality. The player characters in 3 and 4 were like this to an extent, but those characters felt more like everymen than oppressively bland. Even the way he walks is hunched and withdrawn. He blends in with his classmates, and when riding on the train, even when you can see other characters that are designed not to, and stick out immediately as important. In the palaces, however, Joker is almost diametrically different. Bright red gloves, a long split tailcoat, and the mask, combined with a confident strut, arrogant grin, and almost natural leadership role, make him a completely different person. Interestingly, in the short amount of time we see him from before the story began, he seems like a normal kid. No glasses, trendy clothes, and he helps out the woman but is still kind of worried about the situation. The loading screens are shapeless, colorless figures of crowds rushing through their day, completely detached from the world around them. Aside from the few NPCs that you can talk to, but mostly only eavesdrop on, they're faceless, almost ghosts that exist just to take up space. They don't care about you, and you're not allowed to care about them because it's a city with millions of people who just don't care. The level design is almost determined to get you lost at the beginning, with the legendary hard-to-navigate Tokyo train system getting in your way, almost as an enemy itself. Sometimes there are signs that point you where to go, sometimes there aren't, and when there are, it's a simple Gi for Ginza. It took me almost 20 minutes to figure out where to go the first time around, and I had to talk to NPCs for help. And then I still got lost. I've never been so thankful for areas being locked off, or it would have been a mess. But I still loved it. It portrayed a sense of how lost What's-His-Face must have felt coming from the suburbs, I think. It was kind of hard to get a sense of where he lived from the small amount of time we saw beforehand. As a side note, dungeon level design is vastly improved from previous entries, with shortcuts leading back to previous sections and way more verticality. Almost like a grid-based Dark Souls. Wonderful. Persona 4 is set in a small town where most people seem to know each other, and P3 seems to be somewhere in between. But the people you meet are reliable and seem to genuinely care about you. In P5, the few non-party member confidants I've met so far, Sojiro and Takemi, are only dealing with you for selfish reasons. Sojiro constantly doubts your trustworthiness and treats you as a burden. He shows more consideration for a cat than for you. And Takemi is using you for gray market medical tests, or at least you're using each other, and all the adults in general seem to treat you with disinterest, a lack of trust, or outright hostility. Most interestingly, in the entire series, the Velvet Room has always been a place of safety, a sanctuary within a place where monsters dwell. Now it is a prison, and Igor's voice has changed from condescending and mysterious, yet comforting.
Trickster, welcome to my Velvet Room.
To forceful and cruel. I know the voice actor that played him died, but there's much more to it than a simple change in voice actors. As Igor says,
the state of this room reflects the state of your own heart.
So he feels like he's constantly in a self-imposed prison. There are objectives like do what you're told and have a normal school life. To me, this says that he has to constantly remind himself to act this way. It reminds me of when I first watched the announcement trailer. You are a slave. Want emancipation? It's a much darker game than the rest, like I anticipated when I saw that trailer years ago, and I can't wait to see where the plot is headed. I'm glad it's finally 2015. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go play some more of this on my PlayStation 3 system.